There's a green and white box sitting on the bottom shelf of almost every grocery store in America. It costs $4. It's been sitting in the same spot for decades. And in that time, the average household has spent somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000 on the products that replaced it. One box, 15 uses. Most people walk right past it. It's called Borax. And before the cleaning industry figured out how to sell you 37 specialized bottles, it was the only thing most households needed. Here's what nobody tells you. That shift from one box to 30 bottles didn't happen because the new products worked better. It happened because one product doing 15 jobs doesn't generate the same revenue as 15 products each doing one. That math is very simple, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with what borax actually is, because the science is more interesting than most people expect. Sodium borate, a naturally occurring mineral compound that gets pulled from dried ancient lake beds in the high desert of California. It's not synthesized in a lab. It's not a petrochemical. It's been sitting in the earth for millions of years, and humans have been mining it since the late 1800s. The same operation that first commercially extracted it used a team of 20 mules to haul wagons weighing over 30 tons across Death Valley to the nearest rail line. That image, those mules, that desert, that wagon, was on the original box for decades, a piece of genuine American industrial history sitting on a laundry shelf. In the 1940s and 1950s, borax was a household name, literally. Families kept a single box under the sink and cycled through uses the way you'd use a Swiss Army knife. Then something changed. Specialized cleaning products started flooding the market. Each one came with a targeted claim. This one only for drains, this one only for toilets, this one only for laundry, and the all-purpose mineral got quietly pushed to the bottom shelf. Not because it stopped working, because it couldn't be expanded into a product line. Traditional rural farming communities across Pennsylvania and Ohio never made that trade. They kept using what worked. And what worked was a $4 box that's been doing the same 15 jobs for generations. Here's why it does those jobs so effectively. Borax has 4 chemical properties that most modern cleaners replicate individually at a much higher cost. First, it's a water softener. It binds to the calcium and magnesium minerals in hard water that cause soap to fail and leave residue behind. Well, second, it's highly alkaline, which means it breaks down grease and oil at the molecular level without the need for surfactants. Third, it's antimicrobial. It disrupts the cell structure of bacteria and fungi, which is why treated surfaces resist mold. Fourth, when dissolved in water, it releases a mild form of hydrogen peroxide, which whitens fabric and lifts staining without bleach. One compound, 4 mechanisms. Most cleaning products artificially separate those functions and sell them back to you one at a time. Let's walk through the uses that matter most for a typical home. In the laundry, half a cup added to a regular wash cycle alongside a simple bar soap or basic detergent softens the water, brightens whites, kills the bacteria that cause that persistent musty smell in towels, and removes grease from work clothes in a way that detergent alone often can't. For a family running 5 to 6 loads a week, the material cost per load drops to roughly 6 cents. The equivalent result using commercial detergent, softener, and brightener separately costs somewhere between $200 and $300 a year. The borax replacement costs around $15. In the dishwasher, 2 tablespoons in the base of the machine before you run a cycle eliminates the cloudy film that hard water leaves on glassware. This became a more common problem after 2010, when most states banned phosphates from automatic dishwasher detergents for environmental reasons. The replacement formulas were never as effective. Adding borax restores the water softening function that phosphates used to provide. Traditional households never hit this problem because they were already doing this decades before the phosphate products existed. For toilet maintenance, a quarter cup sprinkled into the bowl before bed and left overnight handles, hard water mineral buildup kills bacteria and deodorizes the trap. No chemical pucks, no bleach, no fumes. Cost per night is under 10 cents. A standard blue puck costs $4 and lasts roughly a week. For drains, half a cup of borax followed by a pot of near boiling water. Once a week, dissolves the grease layer that accumulates along pipe walls before it becomes a clog. This is a maintenance habit, not a repair. The kind of thing that prevents a $140 plumber call before it happens. For pest control, equal parts borax and powdered sugar dusted along baseboards and behind appliances works on roaches through a delayed mechanism. The sugar draws them in, the borax interferes with their digestive system, and the population collapses over 10 to 14 days. University of Florida. Extension research found results comparable to commercial bait products at roughly 1% of the cost. The same mixture handles ant trails. A light dusting of borax alone, worked into carpet fibers, left for an hour and vacuumed up, kills fleas at the larval stage. For the mattress, and this one is worth taking seriously, sprinkle borax across the surface, work it in with a stiff brush, let it sit for an hour, vacuum thoroughly. It kills dust mites, absorbs moisture, and deodorizes without sprays or chemicals sitting against your face for 8 hours a night. A seasonal treatment costs about 12 cents. For rust removal and grout restoration, the same paste applies. Mix borax with lemon juice to a spreadable consistency. Apply directly to rusted metal or stained grout. Leave it 15 to 20 minutes. Scrub and rinse. Cast iron that's been sitting unused for years. Shower grout that's gone gray from mineral deposit. Both come back with one treatment. Now here's the use that carries the most weight for anyone who owns a home. Wood preservation and termite prevention. Researchers at the USDA Forest Products Laboratory, specifically the work published in research paper FPLRP 655, found that wood treated with a 2 to 3% borax solution showed dramatically reduced decay and resistance to termite damage over years of exposure testing. The treatment penetrates the wood fiber, makes the cellulose chemically inhospitable to fungal decay and insect damage, and lasts for decades in protected applications like crawl spaces, attic framing, and basement joists. The application is straightforward. Dissolve 1 pound of borax in a gallon of hot water. Add a cup of glycerin to help the solution penetrate deeper into the wood fiber. Apply with a brush or garden sprayer to bare wood surfaces, floor joists in the crawl space, the sill plates along the foundation, the underside of porch decking, any framing within 18 inches of soil. One application, protection measured in decades. Professional pre-treatment for termites runs between $1,500 and $3,000. The borax equivalent costs $8 in materials. The same logic applies to mold control in damp basements. Sprayed onto concrete block walls or the underside of subfloors, a borax solution raises the surface pH to a level where mold spores cannot establish a colony. This is not the same as remediating existing mold. It's prevention applied to a surface that's been cleaned and dried. On a north-facing basement wall that gets seasonal moisture, one treatment holds for years. Two, more worth knowing. Adding half a cup of borax to a gallon of any latex paint before applying it to a basement wall, garage interior, or shed gives the paint film itself antimicrobial and anti-rot properties without changing color or finish. And for weed control in non-garden areas, gravel driveways, fence lines, concrete expansion joints, 1 tablespoon of borax dissolved in a quart of water, sprayed directly on the foliage, kills most common weeds within a week. Do not apply this anywhere near lawn or garden soil. Borax will sterilize the ground for months at higher concentrations. This is strictly for hardscape and gravel areas where nothing should be growing. One realistic note on safety. Borax is non-toxic in the way that most people use the word. It's not absorbed through intact skin, it's not a known carcinogen, and it produces none of the fumes that chlorine bleach or ammonia-based cleaners do. That said, it's an alkaline mineral compound, not a food product. Keep it away from young children and pets. Use gloves when mixing concentrated solutions, and ventilate spaces when spraying large surface areas. The precautions are the same you'd apply to any cleaning substance. What you end up with is this. A single $4 box handles laundry, dishes, drain maintenance, pest control, mattress hygiene, rust removal, grout restoration, wood preservation, mold prevention, weed control, and paint enhancement. The full list of commercial products that cover the same ground costs between $4,000 and $6,000 over the same span of years. The borax, to do all of it, runs under $50 in total materials. The knowledge didn't disappear because it stopped being useful. It got moved to the bottom shelf because useful and profitable aren't always the same thing. Your job is just to know where to look. Hidden Fix Lab exists for exactly this reason. The things that worked before someone figured out how to replace them with 30 separate products. They still work. They always did. The green and white box is still there. It's been waiting the whole time.